Gentlemen, welcome to another episode of DigiMarcon and Texpo here in Charlotte. So I have here a very special guest. I'm probably going to refer to him mostly as Mr. Linksy, also known as Joel Putoff, like to put you off, but he's not going to put us off, he's going to put us on here today. We're going to talk a little more about his app, his inspiration. He's a really interesting guy to speak to. So I'd like to start with a little bit about your introduction. Can you talk about what inspired the company for you, and maybe a little bit about some of your spiritual roots and how you're creating this app that allows people to connect on a deeper level than just arbitrary connections.
Yeah, my second company that I was running was a sales development company. I was working with different organizations, and my first company was training entrepreneurs. And through the 12 years of working with salespeople and entrepreneurs, I was going to so many events, working from co-working spots, working from coffee shops, traveling, going to music festivals, everything. And I'm like, man, why is there no software, especially for the event space, conferences, trade shows, that where you walk into a room and you can find the preferred connections that you want to make in real time with precision, with efficiency. Everybody's, some people are spending thousands of dollars to go to these events and they're not making their best connections. And some people have this like post-event fatigue and they're like, man, did I even make like my best connections while I was there? And they have this like second guess, like, who didn't I meet? And I think a lot of event softwares are solving some of the problems, but it really seems like they're missing out on the real-time connections and the preferred connections. And so after years of seeing this, I had no clue how to build software, but I didn't know how to build teams, organizations, and culture. I mapped out what I wanted to build, and I found my first engineer, and we started building.
That's really great. See, he had a vision and he made it happen. I love meeting entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
Like to build. In fact, that's one of the things you can select on this app. We'll go a little bit more into detail about what you can do with it, but I signed up for it, of course. And one of the things is there's different categories that you can say and break down like your interests and your top interests. So it's not just like, many people go to a conference and all you see is their job title on their certificate. It's like, oh, okay, he does this job. But he may be so much more than just that job. And you don't really know that until you really sit down with him and get to know him. So this is helping strip that away, and that way you have more targeted, you know exactly who you should be keeping an eye out for instead of just a shot in the dark. So those are really good things. And one of the things I put in mind was entrepreneurship and app building, things like that. So connect a little bit on that and see there's already, you can use that when you go to these events to start to really get an edge on, these are my peeps. This is who I want to connect with.
Synergies, find the synchronicities. Yeah, that's it's a little bit of the shirt I happen to randomly wear today. Is seeing people in their own unique light, their own unique color. Find the frequencies that you want in real time, and event experiences should be empowering. They should be fully fun. They should be exciting. And when you come to a Linksy event, the social integration is absolutely bonkers. We've all been to the event where you walk in and you know one person and everybody goes to that person for their comfort. At Linksy events, people like walk in and they see somebody they know, and it's not necessarily where they go. It's like, I got people to meet, bro. I've got people to meet, friend. I've got 7 people here that have that share the conversations, collaborations that I came to this event for, and I see 3 of them right now. I've got conversations to have. So that's one thing we love about Linksy is when you arrive at a location, you check in or go live with Linksy, and it brings you kind of into that arena of that space. And our software helps facilitate those preferred connections, so you can minimize the small talk and minimize the awkwardness of discovery. This discovery process is very painful, and after, like I said, 10 years of training these salespeople, I saw the top 1 to 3% of salespeople. They would do 10 hours worth of research so that they knew exactly who to find at these events. And essentially, we took that best salesperson and we baked them into a software product so that when you get there, you can find those connections with precision.
Yeah, I really like that because I know sometimes I just love talking to people, so it's fine for me. But some people are very, shy socially, and so it takes a lot for them just to get out there and start networking, and then they may have conversations that really don't go anywhere, and then they feel like, I wasted my time or something. So this really cuts through that because you know not only who to talk to, but what to talk about.
Yeah, well, Jedediah, our best conversations didn't start right away.
Yeah,
we hey, you're at this event, boom, boom, boom. Okay, what's the Linksy? Tell you a little bit about that. And then slowly, as we met each other and we got on Linksy, and I saw that you're into product development, you're into technology. We started asking some different questions about entrepreneurship and product development, and that's what I think is really fun. Is we could have spent 20 minutes talking and engaging, and never found our core connections that we have that we might want to collaborate on. And it's one thing to be organic and just meet people like naturally, but there's so much wasted time in that sometimes. And so it's if you can meet people authentically with the passions and alignment that you share within collaborations that you want to bring to life and want to bring into this world. We like to think at Linksy that we help people see each other for their similarities compared to their differences. We live in this like 3D physical world, but what if you could step into a world where it was in full color and you could see how you align with people in kind of like an energy type of way?
Yeah, let's talk a little bit more about that, because we have these fabulous glowing cubes here, which I really liked. When I saw his booth, I said, "Hey, why don't you put that behind your QR code so it lights it up?" And on the app, it's actually color coded too. So if you're choosing things like, "Hey, I'm interested in photography and nature and art," it's like green. And then if you're like, product design and entrepreneurship and things, those are like blue and purple. So he really has this color spectrum going, which is, I really like that. It's unique. I haven't really seen anything quite like that. So if you want to talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah. Really from like 2018 to 2023, I did some of my deepest research. I also released my book during that time called Capability Fuel. It's a human performance book. Really, I got fascinated with, as I was coaching entrepreneurs and salespeople, I was coaching all the business stuff, but I wasn't really coaching the deep research on how to withstand the chaos of being a CEO and running a business. And through that, it's like, wow, you really have to implement habits and you have to evolve yourself daily and get better daily. And like failure, is a choice. Like you can, everybody's going to fail, but are you framing it as a failure, or are you just learning from that and getting better every day? And through this, I learned the power of color psychology. To bring it back to your question about the color, I learned the power of healing through sound and noise and all the different mechanisms that actually provide healing mechanisms and attract people. And so through this, color psychology learning, we've captured 4 colors that people are most aligned with, and we've color categorized those 4 categories. Adventure is green, leisure activities. Professional is blue, cultural is purple, and cultural is such a fun one, along with the orange of curiosities. And why those two are so fun, obviously, if you come to an event like this, some people have all blue chips and they want to make all professional connections. That's what their focus is.
You go to blue chip guy. Yeah.
Then you go to some events and it's like a lot of people are green and they're into like activities and they want to do this. And so it's like building their own social DNA is like more of a green social DNA. And then you go to some events and it's, some of these cultural music festivals that we've done, and people are choosing a lot of purple things. I might speak French and I can find somebody at the event that speaks French through the software and be like, oui, and walk up and just, start talking or German or whatever it might be, language, ethnicity. You can find people that align with your cultures. And then orange being curiosity. That's like where you find your nerds, the people that are curious to learn, the people that, want to talk about human performance, human optimization, maybe conspiracy theories, like different types of topics that are intriguing, that are piquing people's interest. The orange is, I'm mostly an orange guy because I'm kind of a weirdo and I love to learn and I'm so freaking curious. And the more I learn, the more curious I get. So it's almost like as I'm evolving and growing, it's almost becoming more of an orange person myself. So we have fun with the colors. There's a little bit of psychology to it. And I'm so deep into those elements of human performance. I'm so passionate about that because man, there's so many ways that we can evolve and flourish as a society. But I think in a world where we're divided and not connected, and we don't have these data insights that our software does provide, I feel like we're more divided. And as we unite and stay more connected in this world, I think that's where we evolve together and flourish. And I think human flourishing is like one of the most fascinating topics. There's so many different channels that you can go down to talk about human flourishing, but sociogenomics or social connection actually can advance your genetic outcomes through social well-being, environments, community. And so being able to find your community with precision, I think there's an advantage there to social flourishing.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, even on a small level, I know they've done some studies where they were like playing different sounds for plants and experimenting and seeing how it was changing the plants. And then they've also done, social experiments as well. If you have, I mean, I even just know this from my own experience, right? If you've got really good coworkers, you're going to be a good mood and you're going to get good work done. And if you have people very negative, it's going to drag you down. So there's a lot of like practical, real things as well as the spiritual overtones. And that's great because you build an app that's sort of bridging all that together.
Absolutely.
So I'd like to hear a little bit more about, I guess, that like your vision, your drive, what really propelled you to do this, and then maybe like a fun fact about you that you close with or you to remember.
Yeah. What propelled me is after years of seeing the problem and seeing the world during the pandemic. Really, I started on this idea. I had a prototype right before the pandemic, and then the pandemic really shut my motivation down for a little bit. But it really perpetuated the problem. And I had 86 people test my prototype before the pandemic, and they were about to use it for this big event. I was going to speak about it at this broken prototype on March 26, 2020. Anyway, everything shut down. During the pandemic, though, it perpetuated the situation. And I had friends that tested it, like, Joel, we need that app more than ever. Joel. And then I had this event organization say, like, yeah, weren't you working on something like this? And even though I was working on 2 other projects, I had just released my book and patented and built this other product. I was like, man, I am so passionate about trying to help social impact and where our world's going, and seeing people that were affected in my life, as well as surrounding me, and just really understanding the landscape of how humans were with growing up on technology and seeing AI online and getting comfortable in their home. It's like this technological age that is isolating people. And I saw Linksy as such an opportunity to bridge people back into the action as a healing mechanism, as well as giving them real-time connection capabilities for aligned connections, like finding your people. Because even with this younger generation, they grew up with technology. And Pokemon Go also came out with this location-based entertainment tool. And so a big part of ours is how do we bridge people into the action, give them experiences that matter to them, that resonate with them, that is on a similar frequency of the experiences they want. And then how do we, for events, how do we really help power the optimal connections that people are seeking? And so that was really the mission. It was a social impact. It was a wellness impact as well, like mental well-being, but also why is nobody solving? There's this huge white space in the marketplace between event experiences and location-based entertainment and human thriving that nobody's solving. And I was like, why not me? I look at my career of leading organizations and leading teams and understanding human performance, as well as understanding entertainment and going to, I never got deep into Pokemon Go, but I had friends did. And I was like, man, I think I actually might be the person that's supposed to bring this to life. Whether I'm manipulating my own mind or I truly believe it, I really do believe it. To me, maybe that's the fact about me, to answer your question. And the second part of your question is, I really believe in myself. And I believe that we have powers that we can unlock. And I'm even working on this new concept called the human jelly. And it's kind of like we're electromagnetic light beings, and through the right intentional habits that you implement, you can decalcify and detoxify your body, and you can enhance your light center, which has so many profound impacts on how you can heal as a human, how you can evolve as a human, how you can manipulate your genetic outcomes, how you can influence genetic outcomes that you pass on to your kids even. But really the light center is your creation power as well. And so one fact about me is I love building mental frameworks and mental constructs for how to evolve in life. And it's kind of like a passion project, but since starting to write my book, I've gotten really passionate about writing, and I write every day. And through working that muscle, it's really enhanced my writing capabilities.
That's fantastic. Yeah, I definitely see that in you, that self-help and entrepreneurial spirit, and that really empowerment and drive to make the world better. It's really cool. So, how can people find the app and find you if they'd like to connect? What's the best way to get in touch?
Yeah, you can find Linksy Live on LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, Linksy Live. And you can find Joel Putoff on mostly LinkedIn, Instagram, JoelPuthoff.
And it's LINXY.
Yes,
And
exactly.
the X is cool logo with all your different colors.
Amen.
Yeah.
The links in there, that's what it really is.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. You. Oh, that's genius. Actually, that's some really genius. Think about the psychology of your logo.
The logo, yeah.
Yeah.
The links.
Yeah, definitely.
Double links.
Well, it's an absolute pleasure having you.
My man, thanks a lot, Janelle.
And it's been an absolute blast. So definitely, if you haven't already, check out his booth here if you're here at DigiMarcon Charlotte, Expo Charlotte.